Hola, what's up everybody? If you guys are interested in any merch, discounts, or tools that I use, please go to the first link in the description. It'll take you to my website. Stay up to date, see all the platforms that I post on, and you can also check out the tool link. Once you click on it, you go here. Everything's broken down into categories, so you can easily find whatever you're looking for. Now enjoy the video. Alright guys, I'm trying to hype myself up, right? I got a call. It's Saturday morning. It came in, okay, so we had a guy that had trouble repairing this walk-in freezer, right? Now normally that's an emergency, but they shut it down. They let me come back out in the morning because I was not available. I was working on more of their walk-ins. We do a lot of their locations, so a lot of walk-ins go down recently, and they're like real technical things. So like last night I had to stay with a walk-in cooler because it was icing up. We replaced the power head. That one, I kept trying to dial in my superheat, and it would always fluctuate one way or the other. And then I had to, I think, basically open it quite a bit just to get it to stop icing up, and it's still iced up. So then put in the new power head. I was flooding the evap, right? So then I had to dial it in. That took a little while, and then we got a perfect like 11-ish degree superheat, and it was already in the low 40s, dropping into the 30s. I'll actually go check on it after this call. But one of my guys had issues, and this is a fairly new location. I've had a lot of issues with new systems lately where they're like under 5 years old. They're like, I think this one might be 2 years old, 2 to 3 years old. So it's a Russell walk-in box. I'm pretty sure. So he was on tech support, and they came to the conclusion that it might be the Headmaster valve, I believe, the bypass. So we'll go check it out. I have a way to quickly check it. We're gonna like take a look at the line set, see where it is. I'll show you 2 different ways to check it, and then we'll go from there. If I have to do the repair, they did give me the parts, and then we'll go from there, because he said it runs, it just never drops temperature. It's like really high, like 30 or 40. And then a little history on it. It was working up until yesterday for like a couple days, because when he came, I guess it was just like a really bad luck type of deal, because they found a dead compressor, which after that they looked around, they had a bad condenser motor and a bad pressure switch. So I'm assuming the high pressure switch. I'll take a look at it right now. So that was just kind of like a recipe for disaster. They went ahead and got the system up, they put all those new parts in. So it has a new compressor, it has a new he said the fan motor might not be the original, so they had on tech support corrected, I guess, a part number or something. So I do have another fan in case, or I probably will put it on, because he said the blade or it wasn't the right direction, so he had to reverse the blade. He said it is blowing air, but maybe it's not enough, so I need to correct that too. We're gonna take a look at everything, dive into it. It's a freezer that's not freezing, and I'm assuming he had high head pressure, so we'll check it out. We'll see what that bypass is doing, and if there's a way we can get this up and going this weekend. It's a Saturday. I do have the parts, so worst comes to worst, we're gonna start the recovery, raise in the new one, and then start the system up again. So let's get down. I've been trying to hype myself up. It's like an hour away. Had the music blasting and stuff. It's not that bad of a Saturday, but still been working a lot lately, a lot of late nights. So another walk-in box that goes down, it's like, oh man, come on. So let's get to it. It's on the little roof. It's not that bad because the walk-in box is attached to the building, so I'd have to get on the main roof. So getting equipment up there is not going to be that bad. I'm riding solo today, so let's go see. Hopefully it's something simple and it's not what they thought it was. Alright, so here's our box. Still in mint condition, so let's hop on the roof, see what happened. I'm assuming it's just off by the disconnect. No delay. I don't think it's that cold anymore. Oh, maybe it's 40 degrees. And don't get locked out if you guys buy a door jamb. Add some magnets from Home Depot, and you can do these commercial doors. All right, so this is where I have a lot of temperature stuff. So we're gonna bust out the Hvacr. I got the B1L. Let's take a look at those, that Headmaster valve. So normally I use a lockjaw ladder grip because we have gutters all the time, but this one is, like I said, a little roof. That's the roof to the building, but little magnet helps, right? So this is what I use. It's in my tool link for a vast majority of things: hanging tool bags off units, and holding ladders, holding stuff in my van because everything's metal. Got an anchor point there, so let's get the rest of this stuff. And should be this first condenser right here. All right, so I'm gonna hook up some gauges and see what's going on with it. I'm gonna see. I can't tell if it's bubbling or not. See what we get. Okay, there it is. It took a while to kick in for some reason. Let's see what this does. So that hissing, I need to open up the line side, because they told them it shouldn't be hissing. That they thought it was high pressure, but it could be also low on charge. That hissing you get is also low on charge symptom. All right, our pressures don't look horrible, but it looks like it's climbing. Our PSI on the low side. Keep in mind, guys, if it's a freezer and we're already at 40, that pressure is going to go down. But just because this is high doesn't mean we're not undercharged either. So we need to check superheat and subcool and all that good stuff. Our suction is going up because he said he had no suction and his head pressure is going way too high. But this is why I've always said, if you don't know, do it. What I mean by that? So for it to be that packed to where I can actually see it, that means that's probably extremely dirty. We're gonna rinse out these other ones too, but I don't usually see them like that. And I still get black coming out. So if I can actually see the dirt accumulating, that means it's pretty bad. So it's not even that bad. I'm gonna go check the temp inside real quick. I'll hook up my clamps, but if it's not that bad, then it's just he missed something. He missed the coil cleaning here. So we're still gonna check the Headmaster valve just to rule that out, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna check that real quick. I don't even need my clamps. I got my hands. That's cold. That's working. I ran out some morning, so that's probably why it's going to work. He was here in the afternoon when it was really hot. Dropping a temp too good, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So we're going to use our thermometer. And it's hot going in. It's going to be That's our outlet. So it should be, oh no, that's going in, right? And this is coming out. So it should be coming out through the bottom and then going to the receiver here. Because if it wasn't, it would be going through and not going through the condenser. So let's see if I can get a picture of it. All right, so you can check with the thermal imager, or you can check with plants, or you can check with your hand, to be honest. So you're going to be looking here, and that's our discharge, right? So you just follow the compressor, discharge, and it goes up and enters the condenser right here. So if we were bypassing the condenser, which is what that Headmaster valve does, in a low ambient, like if it's cold outside, it's winter time, that's when that thing kicks in, it would be bypassing. So we would have no cooling in the condenser, right? It wouldn't be rejecting heat. What would happen instead is it would bypass, and if you can follow the lines, it would actually, instead of going out that way, this would open and it would come directly to the receiver. So you can check just like the what temperature you got going in and coming out, and if it's the same, roughly the same, then it is bypassing because it's not cooling off it's not being cooled off by the fans. But we're getting about 100-degree difference. So there's cooling going on. There's subcooling there, and the only thing now is I'm pretty sure we're undercharged, and our high head is only because of a dirty condenser, and this one is blowing air, this one is not. You can tell that one's new, so whatever happened, they gave him the wrong one, because he tried to flip the blade. That's not going to work half the time. So I do have that motor. We'll have to change that out and clean the condenser as best we can, and then check it. But it's actually trying to cool, but it is a morning right now. It's getting kind of hot out, so it'll probably start acting up. So let's get that checked out. Let's see what happened here with the fan. I hate these disconnects. Yeah, they gave him the wrong motor, because he was saying it's not the right rotation. Yeah, that's not going to work. So they gave him the wrong motor. He did get me one that was the reverse of what this one was, so it should be the original. And then we'll flip the blade back. That way we can get proper airflow, because that's not helping at all either. That probably could have gotten him by, but maybe it's a good thing. We'll fix this now that he has the part that he gave me. And then I caught the condenser coil, because that would have been another headache. You guys like multi-tools, or just the tools I use in general? This is a 14-in-1 handle with the 7-in-1 flip socket. It comes in clutch all the time. Check the tool link for anything that I use. And if anything, even if I don't use this as a screwdriver, I mostly use it for my drills and stuff, because it is impact rated, and it fits into the chuck. And then even if I have like a stubby or something, I can use these, or I just use it as storage, right? I have all these nut drivers on this right here. So let me get this fan out, and I'll probably go into the van and change it out over there. And bring all my, or probably just bring a hose up. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole coil clean aspect of it, because, well, no, it probably needs it, right? We'll do a quick coil clean. Alright, let me get this off. We'll clean up this wiring too. Hard to reach spots? I gotcha. Klein mini ratchet right there. Check out the tool link. Everything that I use. So can't fit the drill in there, so I'm gonna have to ratchet this one out. Alright, and ratcheting Allen key set. Got that too. Let's take off this blade. Okay. Oh fuck, that's hot. All right. Yeah, these are cool. Tool link, and they do go in impacts, I believe. I don't know if I would use it in impact. Yeah, they lock in. These things are so cool. So 11, now we need 11 30-seconds. Someone, when I did this review on this on these these Klein tools, multi screwdrivers, they were like, oh, the 11 30-seconds. I was like, dude, we still use it. Oh, that's not 11 30-seconds. Oh well, it's a 3/8. We'll ratchet that out. All right, let's go. So I think we're good here, but you got to keep in mind what direction the blade's in. That's the most important. On the condenser, it's going to be the reverse. If you're working in an evaporator, it's going to blow air towards you most of the time. There are center mounted evaporators that I work on a lot, that I've shown in some videos, that it sucks up air. So this one, it doesn't have it written clearly, but it has a little symbol right there. That's clockwise at shaft end, because it shows a little symbol, like if you're looking at it like this, right? So this one was clockwise, so that means if you're looking at it from the other end, it's counterclockwise, right? And we actually needed to spin this way because the blades are clockwise blades, where it's pulling air this way from the back. So this one is the one that they gave him. They basically just gave him the opposite, and this one's counterclockwise shaft end. So what that means is it's basically the other way. It's counterclockwise, right? So that means you're going to look at it this way. It's going to be actually clockwise, which is going to pull the air out with those blades specifically. You have to pay attention to the blades and the motors, and the easiest way is just to compare it to the other one, unless they both go out. But just look at the blade. You can kind of tell where the scoops go and which way it should be blowing. Condenser motors generally pull through the condenser coil first and out the compressor compartment or whatever is behind it. Evaporators usually pull it basically the same thing, but it's just flipped around. They put the fans in front where it pulls through the coil and it blows air out to the front, where you can actually be in front of the blades and get all the air and stuff. So gonna swap this out, take this up, and then grab some hoses and wash that coil out. It's good to have a water key on you. Let's see, hopefully that reaches. I'm not going crazy. I'm not even going to use cleaner, honestly. I'm just going to try and rinse it out really good. And we got the fan out so we can push it out through the inside. And you're going to notice a whole lot of black. Oh, look at that. That's why you don't know until you rinse it. So if you don't know the history, just clean it, please. Talking to everybody. If you guys don't want to do this extra step, that's on you, but let me just show you why I do it. So it's either going to cause a high head pressure because technically you're blocking off the channels in the coil, or like I said, if it's not getting hot, it's not going to get hot right that second you turn it on. So where's it going to go? If the fan does pull it, you're going to get a whole bunch of water or soap, if you guys were using a coil cleaner, just flying through everything in here, and it's going to like cause a big mess. So one or two things. So I take the extra step, the extra minute or two to blow it out, or at least really quickly. It doesn't have to be thorough, and that way it turns on and nothing at all happens. I've had both happen to me, so just letting you guys know. loud hissing. We'll see how it does. I don't like that the fans come on. I don't know where the board's on that side. Pump down. PDN is pump down, defrost. So I just want to make sure the pressure switches are working, which I believe they are. I don't hear any refrigerant. Oh, but I think the compressor's still on. So that's my only concern. If it doesn't turn off, we need to replace and put in a new pressure control because I already adjusted that one. So yeah, this little shit likes to run in a vacuum and not shut off, and I already adjusted it. Still running. Let me try something. Okay, so I had already adjusted it, but it might be a little bit out of range, so I'll make a note of that. So I had to come in, it's a little bit above 30, and I had to come in to cut it out closer to 10, but I think it's still going to be really low. So I'm just going to be testing it, turning it off and on a couple times. But after I adjusted it further, because I had to do another like minor adjustment, it turned off. So let's try it again and make sure that that works, because I don't want this thing running in the vacuum and us having the same issue again, because everything's gonna overheat if you run dry without refrigerant up here. All right, so it says off, but it's running the fans. I'm not used to that in the freezer, so I'm gonna quickly look into this. I don't know if there's any info on here. If I can tell how this is set up and if there's any fan delay set point or defrost set point. This is an electric defrost, and then if there's an option, if there's a cooler or freezer option, all that, because they had to mess with a lot of stuff apparently. So for tech support, so let me go through this real quick. Okay, I went through everything. You're gonna hit the program review, and then it's gonna take you through each of these. I just made sure superheat was set to 7. That's fine. These are just the abbreviations. I don't need any of those readings. It was down here, so it is set to electric. I made sure. It is set to 404, that's what we're using. Box temp was -10, superheat was 7. We didn't have any of these. We are demanding defrost. There was a safety for the time and all that. And it said cycle fan stir cycle enabled. It was off, so it shouldn't be cycling, but I'm not sure. Okay, it just turned on. There's a delay, or it said delay, but it's on already. Everything's right according to this, unless I'm missing something. I'm not sure why the fans stay on the entire time. At least when it's out of defrost. When it's in defrost, it turns off, so that's my main concern. But it immediately turns them back on when it kicks out. I mean, it could have to deal with the temperature, right? I'm not letting it do a full defrost, so hopefully when it does a full defrost and it gets warm, it won't turn on, but we'll see. I don't even think I had a sensor for that. Expansion, suction, temperature, pressure. Oh, right there, defrost temperature. I'm not sure what that one said. Refrigerant, superheat, DDF, no. Monitor actually. I need to get out of that one. All right, so I'm a little disappointed in I guess in everybody basically, and I wish I could have came out here yesterday. I wish I could have given him something, like if I could have texted him if I would have thought they didn't clean the coils or whatever. So some of it's on me, but I was tied up with walk-ins. It got real late. I think I worked till like 7 or so, and you know, if I was thinking that I had to change out a Headmaster valve, because you know, he described it to me, told me what they told him on the tech support, and I'm like, well, if that's what they told you, you know, we can verify and put it in. And you know, the customer was cool with us coming out the next morning, so I came out here solo. But basically, you know, it's cooling, it's freezing. We're gonna be very good to go. I'll show the final temp after this, but basically a lot of components gave out. So I don't know if they just don't make them like they used to, or Texas is way too hot this year, or what, because I believe he said the pressure switch failed, the fan motor failed, and then the compressor was knocking, not really doing its job. It basically wore out. So, and my dad verified because he was here. So at that point, you know, he replaces what he needs to replace, but they didn't go further and kind of check as to why, right? A lot of things give out for a reason. Now, I could have easily done the same mistake and been like, oh, this pressure switch messed up. It must have caused these other issues, which it can in some instances, right? So I can't fault him for that, and I'm sure he was burnt out. We've been really busy lately. We try not to put too much on our guys. If anything, I try to put more on myself. I am the one that comes out to help everybody. I am the one that comes out if anybody gets stuck. I am the one, or I am the backup if things go wrong. That's what I did here today. But I mean, I'm not trying to flex or anything. It's just that's the way our company is. That's the way it's always been. I've never had anybody really above me as far as what we do. I've learned from a couple of guys, you know, a residential guy, which didn't really help too much with what I do now. I went to school and I got my basics, and I did have about maybe like 2 guys that I could call and that I did learn things from when I first started, but really I had to figure out all this stuff on my own. So if anything, whenever I don't recognize something that I get stuck on, or something new comes up, if anything, I will spend the whole damn day trying to figure it out. And nowadays there's not really an excuse, because you can go online at the job site and look up stuff. When I started, that wasn't around. Like 15 years ago, that stuff wasn't online, and if it was, it took forever to download. So I'm already used to getting stuck and being there for a while until I figure it out. Like, one way or another, I'm going to figure it out. Just go back to your basics, which in this instance would have solved his headaches. Go back to your basics, go and check each thing in order, see what safeties, if any, are tripped, what's causing them to trip, and so on and so forth. So that could be applied here. Basics would be coil cleaning and making sure that we're getting like a superheat, or you can even just touch the line sets, go inside. The hissing that you guys hear if you ever go into a walk-in cooler, if it's hissing really loud, it's probably low on charge, or there's a restriction that's not letting enough refrigerant go through. And if you look, your TXV should start icing up prematurely, like right away. So check all that. Like I said, coil cleaning, that's a big number one thing to do. Is if you don't know the history on it, if you know you didn't clean it, if there's no maintenance, or you don't know of any maintenance in place, rinse the coil at least, especially if you're getting a high head pressure or you're having issues with stuff burning out. We cleaned it today and it was plugged up. So it took me a long time to rinse it out. So Number one was that. Now, the parts that he put in, now granted, stuff gave out. This is not really on him. He went so far and then got stuck. This could all be prevented, and we're going to use this as evidence to the customer. If you guys had and they've been on the fence, and a lot of them want us to do it, but obviously in a franchise restaurant with multiple locations, they don't have the say-so at the store. It's going to be whoever's above them, whoever's the area manager, and then whoever actually pays. So a lot of them do want it, and they understand that. So I'm just going to submit it again as evidence. Like, look, you didn't need a compressor. You didn't need a fan motor. You didn't need the pressure switch. Those give out all the time. But you didn't need these expensive repairs had you just maintained your equipment and not allowed it to burn up and give out. So that's going to be one thing, and that's not on anybody. That's on lack of maintenance, and we've pushed for it. We haven't been able to get into this location. Our other stores, other customers, different customers have gotten it, and none of their stuff goes down, right? Every now and then we still might have a bad compressor or anything like that due to faulty pressure switches. There's nothing I can do about that. Those are not things that you really switch out or can predict when they give out. Unless it's mechanical and you can tell that it's out of range, then we will recommend a new one, but that's usually on refrigeration, not like air conditioning or anything like that. So a lot of the stuff can be prevented, so we'll push for it again. They would have not had any of these expensive repairs if we had maintained it. And then us being out here, we'll give them a heads up. Hey, this is happening. This is giving out. Your readings on capacitors, your readings on anything amperage wise, fans might be not. I've had fans that are not working because you walk into a evaporator that has like 5 or 6 fans. Maybe one of them gave out and they don't notice. So things like that. So I'm also disappointed in. I'm gonna give my tech the benefit of the doubt because he's probably burnt out. It was his birthday today, so happy birthday. And he probably has his mind on other things. He worked late. He tried, and if anything, he relied on tech support and the supply house, and they failed him. Supply house, he went and got the compressor and fan motor. They gave him the wrong fan motor, and they told him that's what it has. That's what it needs. Now, granted, when you go to supply houses, when you pick up parts, when you order parts, it's one thing for you guys to check there. That's important, right? Compressors come in all shapes and sizes. For the most part now, it's like for like. We don't usually have that issue anymore, but every now and then they're going to either decrease in size, they're going to be, a lot of them are obsolete. You're going to get a different compressor or the same one that the lines are in different spots, and you got to take into consideration that you might have to run extra line set. You might have to repipe it a different way. So please check your compressors and your major components when you're at the supply house. They will allow you to open it even before you pay for it. I do it all the time. I'm like, cool, let me see it. If not, a lot of the guys actually show it to me. They'll take it out of the box and they're like, is this what you need? Perfect. So open the box there. That's one thing before you pay. Had a lot of headaches, and every time I don't check, it's the wrong part. So supply house gave him the wrong fan motor, right? That's one issue. If he had the right fan motor, this might have worked, right? It might have pulled enough air to get it to drop temperature. And also, please, it really helps when you understand what you're picking up or what you're buying. With motors, with compressors, with pressure switches, they're all rated for something. So they're rated by, like, pressure switches are rated by PSI. Motors, like fan motors, are they have capacitors. They have you could check the amperage, or it'll be labeled amperage. Voltage, I've made that mistake of buying a 208 motor for a 460 volt motor they gave out. Also, like what happened today, the rotation of which way it goes, because you cannot always just flip the blade over. Sometimes you can, and that works out, but a lot of times it has to go a specific way for that blade to pull air. a compressor, you know, make sure it's the right refrigerant, voltage, single phase or three phase. Like, there's a lot of different things, because you could go in there and be like, I need a relay, I need this, and you could tell them, I'm working on this kind of equipment, this and that. They're going to be like, we need to know either a part number, or what is this rated for, what is the voltage, what is the PSI rating, the amperage, the phase. You know, you need to know as you go. You'll understand all this. But I'll admit, when I started, I used to do that. I used to go in there and I'd be like, oh, I need a fan motor. Well, what kind? And this and that. And I'm like, well, this or that, or they're like, okay. And then they'll ask me more questions. And I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know. I didn't think about it. So what I would start doing is just making sure I removed the part and then go take it, just in case, so I can match it up with the new one. But as you go on, you're going to understand, I need this, this, and this, right? Like the other day, I was looking for a TXV, just in case, but I ended up just replacing the power head. So I was like, oh, do you have the body just in case I need it? I need a solder type, because there are flare type. I need a solder type. I need an externally pressurized, because there is internally pressurized, right? So the external one has that extra little piece that you have to solder. So it's in, out, and then the external line, the pressure. That's how it equalizes and all that. So I was asking for a TXV, and I just told them before, you know, we have a mix-up, I was like, I need a solder, I need a external pressure, and I need 404 refrigerant, right? And I was like, this is the compressor I have. This is all I get all the information that I need, especially if I'm working on something like a valve or something. I have this refrigerant, I have this. You could go by BTUs or just the compressor information, the condenser information, and then, like, just in case, get the evaporator information, make sure everything matches up. And yeah, go about it that way. And then just know what you're buying, because sometimes the supply house, like, there's guys that I know, you know, shout out to Rick and Steve over at Johnstone. Those are my guys. Those get me the parts that I need. A lot of the new guys that have been there for a while now, they understand me at least, and we can get through and get the right parts. But know what you're picking up. Pay attention to these parts that you're taking out, and get all the information you can. The other day, Steve got upset with somebody because they came in asking for something without really any part numbers, information off the plate, any pictures, like nothing. He wanted, I forgot what it was like a relay or something, and he's like, dude, we have so many of those, what do you need? He was very upset. So I've been there, done that. They turn away customers, you know, that come in and they show a picture and they're like, I can't see, is that a contactor? What's the voltage? What's the coil voltage? Like, there's so many things that you need to know. So just get familiar, and if anything, take out the old part and take it with you so that you have all the information. And then take it a step further and get the before you would just get the model and serial number. Now take a picture of the information plate, right? That'll tell you everything, the voltage, everything, model, serial. So take a picture of the information plate, that where the model and serial number is, all the extra info it gives you. Take a picture of that with the part, and then take that with you to the supply house and get you the right part. And then investigate, make sure that it's the right rotation, the right voltage, the right everything. Just save yourself that headache. I've been there plenty of times. All right, and I'm also disappointed in tech support, right? So that's always my fear when I'm trying to call tech support. I'm like, do they even understand me? Do they even know? Or are they going to guide me the right way? Now, granted, we should always do our part to do the basics, get our readings, all that. So he tried to give readings, he tried to give them what was going on, and they were jumping to conclusions. The board, they were telling him, get the board, get the Headmaster valve, change some settings here and there. I went through the program and everything seemed okay. I just changed, or I just overlooked a few of them. So I don't know, tech support, I've had some really good tech support and I've had some really bad tech support. So I can't say too much on it. Like, I can't say either one, but I only call them as a last resort, and to have them give me information that maybe I don't have or I don't know, like either part numbers or, but now I can get a breakdown online, but part numbers, any common issues they have with them, what my readings maybe should be, things like that. I don't really rely on them to give me the problem or to give me the solution. So that it is what it is. They sent him down a rabbit hole. So had he, I don't know, they made it a little worse than what it ended up being. So there's that, right? So I'm disappointed in that. And yeah, they should have went over the basics with him, and they would have solved this real quick. But what can you do, right? That's tech support. Like I said, they've been helpful in the past for certain manufacturers and stuff. I've never spoken to Heatcraft. Well, actually, I have, right? This is a Heatcraft. Yeah, I've had issues with the Heatcraft Intelligent, and sometimes I don't get answers from them on those equipment. So maybe it's just Heatcraft. I don't know. But yeah, so although one guy did help me solve something when I was first installing them, and he told me some parameters to check for or to make sure I know how to set, and that did solve my problem. So I know how to install them now, and I'm familiar with the program on the Intelligent. But take what they say with a grain of salt. Please rely on your basics and what you know and what you've been taught. And if you don't necessarily know a lot, go online and go see Ty Brenneman, Craig from AC Service Tech, HVAC School by Brian Orr. People that actually know or teach, and they can kind of give you that well-rounded, skill to troubleshoot. So yeah, I'm just showing you real world application and what I find. And like I said, I'm not blaming anybody. It's just a whole, unfortunate events that ended up giving us an issue where it was down for a little longer than they would have liked. It was down overnight. When he put in the compressor and all the fan motor and everything that he thought would work, it actually worked for like a day or two, and then it messed up. So he also had it in his head that it was working and something drastically, gave out or messed up. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I went over everything in a good manner and you understood what I was trying to accomplish here. Just some misunderstandings, jumping to conclusions. It happens to all of us. It happened to me before, but I try to step back and take a look at everything and go to the basics, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to be something that you missed, and it's going to be one of the dumbest, most basic things that you should have done. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you got something out of it. I appreciate you all. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys.